gonna save you when the man comes down the way.
Welcome to another international fan Zoom, where we will be covering the upcoming internationals featuring India, Australia, South Africa, England, and a bit of West Indies versus New Zealand. I'm your host, Surinder Singh, and today in the house we have Samruddh. How are you doing, Samruddh?
I'm doing fine, sir. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. And we also have Romit. How are you doing, Romit?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. How about you?
I am good. I am good. I've had a couple of days of rest, and now we're getting ready for tomorrow's big games. So if we do a quick review of the ODI series between India and Australia, Samruddh, what are your thoughts on the outcome of that series?
Well, I think if India would have sorted out the bowling lineup at the start, I think it could have really been a mouth-watering series. But I think credit must goes to Australia. I think they played some really good cricket in this series, particularly the top order. I think their top order was very hard to dislodge, and Steve Smith showed again why he's one of the world's best player going around. And quite a few positives from the Indian team as well. I think the biggest positive for India will be Hardik Pandya. The way he played with composure. Till now, everybody was judging Hardik Pandya as someone who can really go out there and smash the ball and one-dimensional hitter sort of a player. But he showed us why, he can be that permanent number 6 position for India in the one day. So his form is a big plus. And also Ravindra Jadeja as well. His batting has really improved in the last 1 year. So I think as far as I'm concerned, these two are the biggest positives that India can take away from this series. And KL Rahul settling in at number 5, he is settling in that role pretty well. So these are the 3 positives to take away, and not to forget Natarajan's debut as well. So quite a few positives to take away from India's point of view in this series.
No, that's good. There's some good information there, especially with sorting the bowling lineup, because on paper it looks like India have a very strong bowling lineup, but the problem is the options. And Ron, going over to you, what's your views on how India and Australia performed?
Like as I said in the last fan zoom, that Australia would win it 2-1. So that only happened. It might be because India didn't play one-day cricket for a long time. So what I have seen is that the bowling was only the point where India could more focus on, and the fielding was sloppy too in the first few games. Batting was overall fine because in all 3 games India scored 300 plus. So batting, I don't have an issue with the batting. It was okay, and people quite played well, except Shreyas Iyer, but he will get back his form. That's not a worry. But bowling, which looked very sloppy, and I feel that should change. And also, like Yuzvendra Chahal being such a smart bowler, like in one-day cricket, I guess he should have bowled better lines. And when he was seeing he's getting hit for sixes, he should have tightened the line, bowled a few more variations and all. But whatever he stuck to, that's why that Yuzi Chahal was not really a hit. Whereas Kuldeep Yadav coming back to the third ODI was really bowled well. He was varying his paces very well. Like he also got out. Whose wicket did he take last one day? Like Jadeja caught. Was it Cameron White, right?
Yeah.
Cameron
Green.
Yeah. Green. So like Kuldeep really bowled well, and also Natarajan coming in the third ODI is a great positive because India lacks a left arm pacer. And whereas Natarajan bowls grooved lines and also is good at the end. So by a proper guidance, he can excel, and but whatever it is, it was overall good. We have to take some positives out as well. The bowling lineup and the fielding looked a bit sloppy, but it was okay in the third game. That's it. Batting was absolutely fine.
Just a quick one. I say a lot of commentators have been talking about India batting second. Also, losing the toss, and also batting in the heat. They're saying that Australia had the better of the conditions. In these type of matches, what do you think the conditions have? Do they have a bearing on that, or was it just Australia managed their innings better that question's to you, Samrat.
Well, I think historically, I think India have been always known as better chasers. So I think going by that, I think everyone would have expected India to chase that down. But like I said, I think Australia need to be given the credit. I think the way their openers played, not giving wickets up front, was the main reason why they could score such big scores. And with the likes of Glenn Maxwell and Marcus Stoinis in the team, they were absolutely brilliant. So I think rather than talking about India's batting failure, I think we need to give a lot of credit to the Australian top order. So they played really good cricket and they deserve to win the series.
And Romit, in the last game, a lot of fans have been saying, "Oh, because Cummins didn't play, and also Warner didn't play. That was the big loss." What's your views on that?
Like I would go for Warner didn't play. That would be a greater loss for Australia because Pat Cummins, India could handle Pat Cummins well because Pat Cummins was not really a threat. But David Warner at the top order is a dangerous batsman, as we know. He scored 69 in the first game and 83 in the second game. So he could score at least more 50 to 60 runs, and Australia was short of 10 runs. So might be Australia would have won that game if David Warner had played. So David Warner was the factor where Australia lost out. But Pat Cummins was not really a bother because Australia bowled quite well. Like India was 153 for 5, but Hardik and Jadeja really paced their innings well. So bowling was not that a factor, but yeah, David Warner was really missing that Australia could feed.
And if we just move on to the
One question from my side. If India could have batted first and scored 370, could Australia chase it down? Did they have the batting lineup to chase the score down? That's my question to you guys.
Yeah, that's an interesting question because what it would be is basically the openers would take less risks, and if you look at the last two games, what happened is the opening pair set the platform for the rest of the batting. Whereas with India lost two wickets within the first 10, which is like the power play in the T20 games and then put the rest of the batting in under pressure. And if you look at the lineup, once they lost the two opening batsmen, the rest struggled, other than Smith. So that's what I think. What do you think, Romit?
Sorry, could you repeat?
Australia batting first. If India bats first, what would happen? Yeah.
See, what my opinion is that anyway Warner was busy and Marnus Labuschagne is not really that a batsman to go hard with the bowlers. Like he's more a composed batsman, whereas David Warner is like a hitter and he'll go after the bowlers. So like what David Warner and Aaron Finch could have done, Labuschagne and Aaron Finch might not have done because Aaron Finch was really giving chances to India to take his wicket, and we have seen that he gave 3 to 4 chances, but India couldn't capitalize on that. Whereas Steve Smith, you can't expect Steve Smith to perform in every game. He's also a human being. So yeah, it looked a weak Australia batting. They couldn't chase because Cameron Green was also making his debut and coming in the middle order, chasing such a huge target. He would become more nervous and be under pressure. And only they had one option left is Maxwell, who was going hard anyway. And Alex Carey, I feel he is not such a great batsman like in under such big pressure situations. He can bat really well, but yeah, they only had 3 main batsmen, Smith, Maxwell, and Finch, who could chase down. But other batsmen, I feel Australia couldn't have capitalized on that, and they would have lost the game.
Cool. We have Saurabh joining us. Saurabh, can you hear us? And Saurabh is from the Super Rolls.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, Saurabh?
Hi, all good. How are you?
Not too bad. And what was your views on the ODI match versus India versus Australia?
I was hearing someone talking about David Warner earlier, but India was also missing Rohit Sharma, the best white ball player, I guess, in current generation. And yes, if Rohit Sharma would have been in the Indian team, then things would have been different from game 1 onwards. So.
No, that's true, and that's a really good point. And a lot of the roles that what people have been talking about is that Rohit Sharma should be the captain of the white ball cricket. So if I move to you, Samrat, I know we've had this conversation before. Straight choice: who should be captain of India ODI? Rohit Sharma or Virat Kohli?
One day team, I still think Virat Kohli should lead the one day team. But when it comes to T20 cricket, I think Rohit Sharma is best suited to lead India in the T20 format, which will also take the pressure of Virat Kohli and allow him to play as a batsman alone. But I think one day cricket, I think Virat Kohli has done nothing wrong except the series. I think India have won almost everything under his captaincy. So I don't think there's any reason to change Virat in the one day format. But definitely in T20 format, I would like to see Rohit Sharma lead the Indian team.
And what about you, Romit?
I feel Rohit Sharma should be the captain of white ball, like for one days as well as T20s. And just to add that, I guess Saurabh was saying about he has been the best opener, like from the 2017 to 2020, like he has scored more tons than Virat Kohli, and he has as an opener he has an average around, like from 2017 if we see, he has an average around 60 or something as an opener. Yeah, so batting considered, we missed Rohit Sharma, but as you're saying about the captaincy, yes, Rohit Sharma should get, because he's much a more calm, composed captain, as we see in Mumbai Indians also. Like he's not pressurized in any situation. As well as Samrud, you were saying that Virat Kohli has been successful, but you know that Dhoni was there behind the stumps back then. So mostly he used to take advices from Dhoni. So mostly his success has come because of him. So I guess Rohit Sharma should become, because he's much more a calm captain. I am not comparing to Dhoni, but yeah, he's cool and he's calm, composed. So I feel Rohit should be the captain.
And Saurabh, just a quick one on Smith. Smith's performances for Australia and for us, RR, what was the difference?
I guess Smith was taking a lot of pressure. He was acting like he's Josh Butler or something. He was just making every ball out of the park.
Yeah. And yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, so we've got the Smith not playing for Australia and the Smith that is playing for Rajasthan Royals. If we quickly move on, hi Chris, how are you doing? And Chris,
I'm all right, mate. I apologise for joining late. I've been looking after my granddaughter.
I know we have priorities, and big question for you: did you enjoy the ODI series between India and Australia?
Oh, I have to be careful what I say now, don't I?
Beyond.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I thought there was some marvellous cricket played by both teams. India probably played their best of their fixtures on the third one. The first two, I'm afraid that whether there's politics involved, the same as there was in South Africa, I think they were certainly found wanting, and I think they didn't have the right bowling attack for the first two games.
Oh, brilliant! And we also have Raj. Raj is the cricket analyst. How are we doing, Raj? Can you hear us, Raj? Okay, so Raj, we're just missing there. Raj, if you can turn your camera on and your volume, we'll get you on. So yeah, so we're moving down back into T20 mode. Tomorrow is going to be two matches. So England playing South Africa.
They're playing South
One day.
Africa. They're done the T20s. They're doing the ODIs now, mate.
Yeah, the ODIs, and the T20 will be India versus Australia. So if we just talk about the India-Australia game first, and then we'll move on to England. Tomorrow, what are you feeling is going to happen tomorrow? Hi, Raj, are you there?
Yes. Hello. I'm sorry to join in late, but yeah, some issue with the network here. So
no worries. We know the network is not great in Chennai. Tomorrow's T20. What's your views on tomorrow? Who's going to win tomorrow?
I believe Australia will have an upper hand the way the ODI series went, and so they were quite clinical, and we were outplayed. India were outplayed in all departments. So it seems like Australia, but yes, we won the last match, and so I think the momentum is there on our side, and the match also happening at Canberra is also a plus. We've just won over there, so let's see, fingers crossed, and you might see new faces in the side, so a bit of freshness might just help.
Cool. And thanks, Raj, for that. And if we go to Samrud, what's your team for tomorrow, India?
Well, I think I'll open with Shikhar and KL at the top. I'll have Virat at 3, one of Shreyas Iyer or Manish Pandey at 4. I would personally pick Manish Pandey because he's been really good in T20 eyes for India. At number 5, I would pick Hardik Pandya as a specialist batsman. At number 6, I'll have Jadeja. At number 7, I'll have Washington Sundar. That will give me 6 bowling options. The 3 fast bowlers are Deepak Chahar, Jasprit Bumrah, and Natarajan, and Yajwendra Chahal as my lone spinner in the squad. That would be my 11 for India.
Brilliant. And do you change any of that? And we'll go to Ramit. Ramit, your views?
Yeah, I'll go with I'll go with KL and Shikhar opening. First down should be Virat Kohli. Then second down, will go with Manish Pandey because Iyer hasn't shown good form. I'll give him a chance. Third down, I'll go with who's there? I don't know. Like fourth down is Hardik and fifth down is Jadeja, obviously.
Yeah.
And second down, I feel Shreyas should get a chance and third down Manish Pandey. And the 4 bowlers would be Bumrah, Natarajan, Mohammad Shami, and my spinner would be Kuldeep Yadav tomorrow.
Okay. I don't think Kuldeep is in the squad.
Yeah, he's not in the squad, I guess.
Okay, so then I guess Yuzvendra Chahal then but Washington Sundar might get in because he has shown a good T20 form. So might be he can get a chance. But Yuzvendra most probably.
And Raj, there he is. All right.
I was just going to say, and Virat is Washington's captain in IPL, so he might get a chance tomorrow. You never know. And he was good during IPL, very economical, and I think that's what we need over there, because we are going for plenty, and so we need someone economical. If Washington Sundar starts with the new ball along with Deepak Chahar, and so the death specialists Natarajan and Bumrah can come in later, so I think that would be good for us. We can restrict them or defend a decent total too.
Okay, so let's go on to the second game. England versus South Africa. This will be quite easy, I think. Chris, let's go to you. And a little one.
Very, very quickly, straightforward. Obviously, there'll be a minor change to the batting attack to bring Root in, but we'll just carry on the way we're playing. Go into the game very strong. I think South Africa have got many problems in their sporting world. Talking to Grant separately after the last T20, and he's explained the problems that South Africa have got in their sporting environment. Especially there's a ruling that's been brought in that South Africa are only allowing a certain amount of black players playing for South Africa, which is a cause for some concern in South Africa because there's not a great deal of talent coming through on that side. But for an England fan, things are good. We've done the T20s, and there's no reason why we can't do the ODIs the same way as we've done with the T20s, mate.
Brilliant. And Sam, what's your views? Who's going to win the ODI, England versus South Africa?
Well, I think things are looking tough for South Africa. In my opinion, England is probably the best white ball team going around. The batting depth they have in their team is absolutely fantastic, and it's really surprising that a player like David Malan is not in the one-day squad. I mean, he's the best T20 batsman at the moment, and I'm really surprised he's not in the team. That shows how great a team England is, and is like I said, it's probably the best white ball team. A lot of credit should go to Owen Morgan. And talking about South Africa, well, there's no Faf du Plessis, there's no Kagiso Rabada in this series as well, so it will get tougher and tougher for them. So if England managed to get the wicket of Quinton de Kock early, I don't think any other batsman has that caliber to go out there and win the matches for South Africa. So things are looking a bit dark for South Africa. It's really sad. I mean, a country which has produced players like AB de Villiers and all are really struggling at the moment. So I think England are firm favourites, and they'll probably whitewash South Africa in this series.
Yeah. And Romit, moving to yourself, probably similar thoughts to the rest, or do you have anything insight into that game?
I'll also go with a whitewash, England 3-0. But there might be a chance England winning the first 2 one days. England might rest their players And for the last one day, at least South Africa might have a chance to win if England rests their team and their players by after winning the 2 1 days. But most probably it will be a whitewash. I feel England winning 3-0.
Brilliant. And if we just to go to you, Sam, just a quick one. How's the test match going between New Zealand and the West Indies?
Well, as a Sunriser fan, I'm really happy. I just watched the highlights now of Kane Williamson batting. He was just absolute class. I mean, the way he cover drive the ball and all day around. It was a green track, and everybody expected that wickets will go on in a heap. But just he just showed why he's the best player going around, and it was a fantastic partnership between him and Latham. Although Kemar Roach came back really well in the end. I mean, he and Jason Holder were bowling really well. And Kemar Roach also lost his father today, and the way Kane Williamson hugged him after the match also showed why he's such a gentleman of the game, and he's probably loved by everyone. So it was a very good test match, and green top, and Kane Williamson showed why he's the greatest batsman right now.
Brilliant. And so at the moment they're out in their test match, and then we've got obviously the big games tomorrow. So let's have a quick roundup. Tomorrow, who's going to win? Romit, India or Australia?
India.
India. And I'm going to go to Saurabh. Saurabh, if you're still there, who's going to win the game tomorrow? India or Australia?
Australia.
Australia. Raj, who are you going for?
India.
India.
India has to be India tomorrow.
And then Sam, you're going for?
India.
India. And I am going to go for Australia. So I'll rock the boat tomorrow, but the toss will be important. If India are going to chase in the T20 game, I do fancy them more than Australia in the T20 game. And it'd be great to see how Maxwell bats tomorrow, because obviously that's 6. I'm still recovering from that reverse hit 6. So that's been been one of the big things. Moving on to the South African, England. We've all said, I'm going for England. You're going for Sam?
England, definitely England.
Raj?
Yeah, England.
England. Saurabh?
Hello.
England.
And Romit?
England.
Okay, cool. That gives us a bit of time now. Over the next World Cup, England, obviously that's going to be based in India. And does this series between obviously Australia, South Africa and in Australia, will that have any bearing to the T20 squads that will go to play in India, and what with the difference? If I answer that question first to Sam?
But with regards to India, I think this series probably with if Rohit Sharma was there, I think they could have settled into a perfect playing 11. If Rohit Sharma comes back, I think the main issue will be who will open for India with Shikhar, Rohit and KL around. But talking about India, well, if you talk about Australia, I think this series with David Warner also could have been a huge chance for them to fix their playing 11. I think if Marcus Stoinis is fit, he comes into the team straight away. And well, things are not looking good for South Africa, so I don't really know how that team would look like in the World Cup. But I think when
Cool. Okay, Robert, quickly about you.
Yeah, I was talking about the spinning department of Australia and South Africa. I think they really need to give spinners more chance, because the World Cup will be happening in India along with Zampa. I think they need to prove in another leg spinner, maybe Mitchell Swepson or Cameron Boyce or someone like that. Same goes with South Africa. With no Tahir around, I think Tabraiz Shamsi will play a huge role for them in India.
Brilliant. And Robert, how do you think the bowling attacks, Sam just checked on that, India's bowling attack, the one that going in Australia and the one in India, would there be any changes?
There would be changes for that, because the players will have a greater boost because we have the IPL, and that will be too held in India. So we can, from there, players can be judged by the performance, because they are maybe going to play in the same pitches, like where the World Cup T20 will be held. So I feel the bowlers, for me, it should be Bhuvaneshwar if fit. I will go with Bumrah, Bhuvaneshwar and Shami. Natarajan doesn't get a chance because he's inexperienced. And with a spinner in India, I'll go with Yuzvendra Chahal.
Okay.
If Bhuvaneshwar is fit, I'll get with Bhuvaneshwar.
And moving to you, Raj, quick one. The IPL being based in India, after and before the World Cup, will other countries take benefit of that being in place?
Well, I think that's something that will give them some benefit because most of the players around the world who are their star players, they feature in the IPL, and gives them a lot of practice in such conditions. And even the World Cup, even the IPL that happened in the Dubai, UAE also is more of like similar to Indian conditions, is dry and spin friendly. So I think they get a lot of practice playing in such conditions, which is good for them, which is a lot different from what they get back at home. So I think it does help.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant. And moving you to you, Saurabh, we think obviously Pakistan. Yeah, a lot of people have been saying to me about Pakistan. They will be. How do you think they would do in the World Cup? Not playing in India for a long time, and how would the fans react to that team?
And the conditions in India and Pakistan are really similar, so I don't think they will find any difficulty in adjusting to the conditions. But yeah, the crowd and their reaction would be something different.
Yeah, it's very interesting because I've been to a couple of games. I've been to India versus Pakistan at Edgbaston, the two games in the IPL in the last World Cup, and it's really special occasion. I say because we have a lot of obviously Indian people and Pakistani people, and the ground, the tension of the day, nothing beats that. And whether that we can replicate that in India, that's going to be an amazing experience. And then moving on to
Can I
the
put in
cricket,
something?
and I say on the lockdown now, crowds will be back. Full crowd will be back in Australia in the next matches. The crowds in the last two games have been 80% Indian, 20% Australian. Do we expect a massive Indian contingency in the SCG in the T20? And I'll ask you, Samrat.
Definitely, I think Indian fans will definitely be high in number in whole Australia, I guess, not SCG or something. I think even in the test match for the Boxing Day, I think more Indian people will turn up on that day as well. So I'm really happy that so many Indians are there and they come out to support our team in Australia as well.
Brilliant. And Romit, yeah, your views on having crowds back. Do you think the next IPL will be based in India, or do you think we will go back to Dubai? What's your views?
Yeah, it will be based on India, but I feel there would be some restriction to the crowd. Like if a stadium has a capacity of 60,000, I guess that would be restricted to 25 or 30. Like people would have to sit, leaving the beside. I guess it would be restricted. That full crowds won't be there, but at least 40%, 50% we can expect in the game. The crowds, if we talk about.
And just quick one to Raj. Mega auction or non-mega auction? What's your thoughts?
I think mega auction because the way it appears that two teams might be added. I read something today. BCCI is intending to include two more teams, so I think it won't be fair on them if there's a mini auction. So might as well have everyone out in the pool, and it will be all the more exciting for us because we've just had an IPL and it's too early for have a season and see the same players around. So a bit of mix would be interesting, and also seeing the ones who did not perform in IPL all of a sudden performing after IPL. So it's very much interesting how the management goes about in the auction.
Cool. And Saurabh, quick one to you. If you had a straight choice, this is a question that came out today. Steve Smith or Surya Kumar Yadav, which player would be your choice for RR?
If IPL would have been a 50-over format, I would have gone for Steve Smith. But since it's not, then Surya Kumar.
Surya Kumar Yadav, yes. And we had a very good debate online. We're going to wrap up now and just say thank you guys for all joining us. It's been fantastic having you. We will look forward to doing some more of these after the results. It looks like most of us have gone for India to win tomorrow. I'm going to go, I went for Australia, but it will be toss dependent. Thank guys for all your contributions to our fan Zoom. You've been brilliant to see, and hopefully we will be able to see you soon. This will be put out onto our Facebook page and also YouTube. And please follow us on the Rajasthan Runs Fans Forum on Instagram, and also on World Cricket Fans. And World Cricket Fans is our sister station, and we are going to be doing some exciting work with them. So just tune in, watch us. Thank you very much, guys. I will see you later. Good night. God bless. Stay safe.
Good night. Good night.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thank you so much.
Bye.